Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carla and I like to do stuff. This is a Penpal letter I sent out to the UK. I had gotten a hold of a bunch of old British postage stamps and decided to use them to decorate the envelope. It was a very simple and quite fun thing to do. But how did I get hold of so many of these, you might wonder? Well, soon after I started penpaling, I found myself interested in postage stamps. I thought that they were quite pretty and interesting and started to consider the idea of collecting them. This thought became a reality when I found some old stamps being sold at the second-hand stores in the city I lived. That was the beginning of yet another hobby. So it should come to no surprise that I was tempted to buy a big bag of what looked like green stamps at a second-hand shop. My internal reasoning for this was that there were a lot of stamps inside the bag and it was quite cheap. What I failed to realize was that most of them were the same type of stamp. The bright green Queen Elizabeth 8.5 pence that you see on the envelope. Later on you will see how many of these I got. Anyway, for this penpal letter I started to create simple pockets. I used some old paper that I thought would match and I just layered the paper to create two different pockets. And of course, this project was blessed by my cat, Begemot. Since I also wanted to send some smaller items, I started cutting some birds from a coloring book. I wanted to either use them to decorate a small envelope or send them to my penpal in case I did not use them. This footage is sped up by 3 times and it does take me this long to cut this little bird. Please take this time to grab a glass of water or any other drink of your preference. I apologize for the weird camera angle, but don't worry, I did realize that it was too low and finally adjusted it, just in time for you to see me gluing all the pieces to the envelope. I am reusing one of the envelopes I had made for my stamp collection. I now have actual stamp albums to keep my stamps, so I don't need these anymore. But they are the perfect size to send some paper goodies to my pen pals. love writing with fountain pens. This was the first pen I got that I actually used, and it was a gift. Of course there was no ink, but this was very easily solved. Once the envelope was done, it was time to choose some of the stamps to give away. Of course, I had to include a bunch of these green stamps that I've used on the envelope. And as you've seen, I still have quite many of them. It's been quite a challenge to use them all. But since I couldn't just send these green Queen Elizabeth stamps, I had to include some others from other countries and other collections. And now I'm ready to pack the letter. First, I got some papers, stickers, and washi tapes to fill some of the pockets. Then I closed the envelope that had the stamps I selected and added it to the pocket as well. I got some extra papers, including some handmade paper, and added them to the bundle. Finally, it was time to tackle the letter. I have a tendency to write quite a bit, and this can sometimes be an issue with making the envelope too chunky. I added a little doily and wrapped everything nicely with some thread. The doily will also act as a protection when I put the wax seal. Since I really love to close my letters with wax seal, and I always think about the possibility of the paper being ripped when you try to remove the seal. I don't really have any wax beads and one of those spoons where you heat them up. Instead, I have these wax sticks. To use them, you need to keep them over the flame for quite a while. What I do is I keep them until I can hardly stop a drop of wax from falling off while rotating the stick. The seal that I'm using is my favorite one. I bought it probably more than 10 years ago, and it has my initial, C. don't usually show this part, but I thought, why not? So once the envelope is packed, I will secure it with some washi tape. I'm always afraid that the sealing glue of the envelope won't hold while the letter is on its way. So I usually cover what I consider the weaker spots with some tape. And finally, I fill up a CN22 sticker. I do this for all mails that I send, even those within European Union, even though I know that you don't really have to. I just do it as a precaution. And this was it. As usual, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.